You know, one of the hardest lessons I've learned in life, and also one of the most freeing lessons, is that nobody's coming to save you. Nobody is coming to bail you out. Nobody's going to be that voice in your head to say, don't do that. Don't buy that. Don't trade that. Don't become friends with those people. Don't hang around with those people. Don't go hunting with those people. Don't go fishing with those people. Nobody's going to do that. And that was one of the toughest lessons I learned, and also one of the best life lessons I've learned. My grandmother, Lord rest her soul, I had a friend growing up. You might have heard me mention him before. His name's Tony Ray. Me and Tony Ray were thicker than thieves. We knew each other since we were in diapers. And me and Tony Ray got into a lot of shenanigans as a kid. And probably the best decision I ever made was to join the United States Navy and get away from Tony Ray. Now, it didn't make me smarter than Tony Ray. It didn't make me better than Tony Ray. It just made me realize that some of the people around me aren't always the best people to have around me. And I'm sure many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've probably got some friends that are probably not the most beneficial to your wallet, mental health, to your way of life, or hell, probably even to your family. I'm watching these, I got these hummingbird feeders. I never thought I would enjoy hummingbird feeders until I got some hummingbird feeders. You can hear Fred over there raising hell because they all got bald. All the dogs are scattered across the yard. They all got bones, and Fred's already eat his. Fred, chill out. But just like these dogs with their actually it's pig's ears. They've scattered. They've taken their pig's ear and they went to they're 20 feet apart from each other. And I think life is very similar to that. I've had friends that I needed to get away from. I've had family I needed to get away from. And when I realized that that was the right move, it gives you a different perspective. You've all got a nagging sister-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, cousin that just does the wrong shit all the time. We've got them. I've got them. You've got them. We all got them. Fred, leave that alone. Hey, leave her alone. You've already had yours. He's a damn thief. But we all know people like that, and Fred's trying to nag them. Perfect example. He ate his, and then he wants hers. It ain't right. That's society. Think about all the people that are losers, that are, they didn't work for theirs, but they want yours. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, when you do make those decisions to get away from this is a thing to keep mosquitoes off. It's a citronella little band. Keeps the chiggers and mosquitoes off. I swear by them. It's got a citronella flavor or smell. Because I wish people were this simple. You just put on something and shitheads stay away from you. If life was that simple, shit. Man, I'd sell these by the bucket load. But it keeps the horse flies and everything off too. But we all know somebody that wants to be around you for their benefit. And when they're around you, you suffer. Now back to my original point is, nobody's coming to save you. Those people are coming to prey on you. They're coming around you because you've got something they want. Whether it's some money to borrow, a vehicle to borrow, they want to come over just about dinner time 3 or 4 days a week. You've got some tools they want to borrow. You got a bunch of cigars they want to help you smoke. I'm smoking a Fuente Don Carlos number 4. Probably my favorite cigar. It's Dominican tobacco. But we all have got friends like that. We've all got family like that. that are afraid to take ownership of their own problems, that are afraid to take ownership, and you can replace that word, responsibility for their own problems. And they'll tear you down. They'll tear you apart. They'll sell everything you've got. They'll borrow everything you've got. And the sooner you realize that they're not here to save you, the better off you are. Now, this has a larger meaning. You've got to quit blaming everyone else for your problems. Quit blaming everyone else for your decisions. And that's where most of them are not able to operate outside of that. They want to blame the government. They want to blame their job. They want to blame their parents. They want to blame their family. They want to blame their boss. They want to blame politicians. Now, I'll say this, politicians do play a large part in our lives. But they don't control our lives. Think about the amount of people that like to blame other countries in the Middle East that are very small for our problems here. Think about it. There are a lot of people that will constantly blame a country the size of Delaware for all our problems. And I just got to say, you got to quit whining. You've got to realize that you're probably in charge of a lot of your own destiny. Now, accidents happen. I've been hit by 2 drunk drivers. Was that my fault? I can't think of how it was my fault. One of them was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at a 4-way intersection in Panama City, Florida. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sitting at a red light, right at the corner of an intersection that had a headstone, cemetery headstone building off to the right. This stripper hit me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, pushed my Toyota 4Runner, is what I was driving, through the front window of this headstone business. If you don't think that's destiny, I don't know how to explain it to you. But here's where that story takes a weird turn. I told you I got hit by 2 drunk drivers. They were 28 days apart. 28 days apart. Sorry, it was a Toyota pickup, not a 4Runner. Pickup. So me and a buddy of mine are sitting at that intersection, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, waiting to turn. This gal comes through the intersection, says, head on, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. State trooper shows up. I'm fine, go get checked out. Got some cuts on my arm from the windshield or the window. That was it. Went home. 28 days later, my buddy that was in that vehicle drove me to the body shop to pick up that Toyota pickup. On the way back from that body shop, 28 days later, these 2 dudes in a Cadillac Sedan DeVille at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, crossed the center lane, hit me head on at about 60 miles an hour. One of them went through the windshield, landed about 50 feet behind us, dead. The other one went through the windshield, came through my windshield, wound up in the back of the truck. He wasn't dead. But that is, I'm looking at these 2 hummingbirds sitting on a limb. They're just as happy as larks. That's destiny. I couldn't blame anybody for that. I blame those 2 idiots for coming across that middle lane, hitting me head on. But at the same time, I wouldn't have been at that body shop if the stripper chick hadn't hit me 28 days prior. You starting to see where I'm going with this? There's some things out of our hands, but the things you can control, you should realize you can control them. Make some better decisions. Responsibility is not a burden. Responsibility is power. Now, you can hide behind it and be the victim and say you're a burden of your own circumstances. And that's exactly the victim mentality, Fred, that people want you to have. People want you to be a victim. People want you to be a burden of your circumstances. I'm not one of them. And I'm going to tell you, like I said at the beginning of this video, once you realize that the most empowering decision or conversation you can have with yourself is that nobody is coming to help you. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to rescue you from your own bad decisions. Now, they will come and latch on to your good decisions. And typically the people that come and latch on to your good decisions never had your best interest at heart. Now, it's different when you got friends and family that are like, you've got a business. I'm going to support your business. And they don't say, well, can you do a family discount? Are they looking out for themselves when they ask you for a family discount? I've never asked a friend for a discount on anything. And I've got friends in multiple businesses. If anything, I've always wanted to pay them more for what they have set the price, because I want them to be successful. Really good friend of mine owns a cigar shop where I buy a lot of these. His name's Brian. He's got a cigar shop right here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's called Open Door Cigars. I've been going to that cigar shop since he was basically in a broom closet. I have never asked him once for a free cigar. I've been going there for 12 years. I've never asked him for a free Coca-Cola. Fred, chill out. I've never asked him for a free cup of coffee. They do have free coffee. I've never asked him for anything because I want his business to be successful. And I don't want him to ever have the opportunity to say, I lost $20 because Ben Dykes didn't want to pay me for the product I'm selling. I don't want to do it. And I don't think he would. I want to pay my fair share. I want Americans to pay their fair share. You live in the greatest country in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. Living in the greatest country in the world has obligations, burdens, responsibilities. Stan Lee, comic book artist, also a Navy veteran, said, with great power comes great responsibility. That is a quote by a guy that wrote Spider-Man and a laundry list of other comics. And I believe the American people have a responsibility. You've got a responsibility to your fellow neighbor. You got a responsibility to your local community, maybe your church, maybe your school, the PTA, your kids, local businesses, your neighbor, your state, your country. With great power comes a big responsibility. And people forget that. There's so many people that want money for nothing and the checks for free. Dire Straits. Mark Knopfler, one of the greatest guitarists to ever pick up something with strings. And I think that's what we've got away from. We think somebody's going to save us. We think the government is going to save us. We think you're going to get these Doge checks, your COVID relief funds, and all this other crap. There were people that were relying on that. Anything I ever get from the government, number one, I take it for a grain of salt. Number two, I don't rely on it. The government has never bought me a cigar. The government has never made me a glass of iced tea. The government has never paid for this damn little camera I got. The government has not bought me a house. The government has never paid for my car, truck, nothing. I wish the government would send me some of these Fuente, Don Carlos number 8s, Donald Trump. I'll take one of those, please. So quit relying on the government. Quit blaming the government for everything. Quit blaming somebody else for everything. Free yourself from that mindset. Get a warrior mentality, a hunter or a gatherer. That's how our forefathers started. And I think that's what we got to get back to. We've got to get back to just being responsible for your own destiny. There's a lot of people that can't do it. There's a lot of people that can't be responsible for paying for their own cell phone, for buying their own cigar lighter, for feeding themselves, for clothing themselves, for daycare for their kids. I don't understand it, but it's damn nice when you look behind me at that fence and you're like, man, that's a nice fence. Wish I had a fence like that. A lot of people around here have noticed my fence. They love my fence. Oh, you're living that house down there with the nice fence. Oh, I know that house. You got the nice fence. You probably had the same thing. Oh, that's a nice truck. People will say that's a nice truck. How many of people have ever told you, man, I'm proud of you for having spent the money to get that nice truck. I'm proud of you for having the wherewithal or the financial means to build that nice fence or have that nice tractor, have that nice dog, enjoy that nice cigar, have that pink mosquito band. We've gotten away from that. When I see one of my friends being successful, I'm proud of them. I'm proud to call them a friend. I'm proud to call them, successful. I don't want to latch on to, well, you just got this because of that. You just have this because you were given better opportunities than I was. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, I grew up on a red clay dirt road in a house that was a Jim Walter home built in the 40s, right after the Second World War. My grandfather bought some property, built a little Jim Walter home. Basically, it came in a kit. That's where I was born and raised. When I go back and visit family, I drive by there. I drive by that same area. I go pay my respects at the cemetery to my grandmother and grandfather. Not once did I ever stand over their headstones paying my respects and say, man, I wish y'all would have done a little more for me. I wish y'all would have taken me to church less. I wish my granny wouldn't have wore my ass out as often as she did with a plumb switch. I never stood over my grandfather's grave and said, man, I wish you wouldn't have taught me how to coon hunt. I wish you wouldn't have taught me how to run a trot line. I wish you wouldn't have taught me how to deer hunt. I wish you wouldn't have taught me how to fill in the blank. Tune a carburetor, change the spark plugs. You see what I'm saying? Nobody says that. If they do, they're damn idiots. But what we're seeing in the country is that mentality. We are seeing people across America, and it doesn't even sound right for what I'm thinking. We see people across America say out loud, on camera, at a podium, running for political office, don't worry about anything. The government will take care of you. How did we get here, man? How the hell did we get here? We got here because people like to be victims. Fred, leave her alone. That's her pig's ear. You had yours. But that's where we're at, man. That's where we're at. We are at a point in society where people think what you have is theirs, what you've worked for is theirs. Let's go back in time. Let's go back to the Romans. They were the real first great empire. They collapsed. They collapsed for a few reasons that we are now seeing a decline, a decay, a moral decay of the American fabric. Number one, they tax themselves to death. Number two, they let people inside of the gates that didn't have their best interest at heart. The Romans were the greatest empire before America. Argue with me in the comments. Feel free. Man, this breeze is feeling good. It's a very dry 90 plus degrees out here. Now, I don't know how we rein this in. I do know what's happening is amazing to watch. Deportations are up. Self-deportations are up. Could they be more? Yeah, they damn sure could. I wish they had a conveyor belt or an escalator at the border, but they're not. Could convictions of criminals be higher? Yes, they could. I wish they were. Let's start with Lindsey Clancy. But the president doesn't arrest people. He's the president. Article 2 does not allow the president to arrest people. But that's where we're at, man. That's how far we've come. We have went full circle, and we're getting close to getting to what caused the collapse of the Roman Empire. Am I a historian? No. Am I a theologian? No. But I am a guy that's got a little bit of common sense. Not much. Not much common sense. I'm sure some of you are a lot smarter, a lot more educated, a lot more versed in the Bible, in history, in mathematics, and all those things. But I've done just enough to get to where I'm at right now, where I can sit out back with a glass of iced tea and a good cigar in my yard, inside of my fence, watching my dogs, my hummingbird feeders, smoking my cigar, wearing my hat of a submarine that I proudly served on, in my chair by my rock wall. Nobody gave me any of this. I'm sure there's a lot of you that everything in your life you worked for. You scraped, you fought, you scratched. You worked overtime. You picked up a second shift, a third shift. You worked a weekend. You worked a Christmas. You worked a Thanksgiving. You worked a birthday. You missed a child's birth. You missed an anniversary. You missed something important. You missed your kid's football game. You missed your kid's first day of school. And yet some lazy son of a bitch wants what you've got, and they don't want to pay the price that you have paid. I don't need those people around me. I don't want them around me. If you're useless, stay away from me. Fred, leave that dog alone. That's Daisy's. We don't want those people around us. I don't give money to homeless people. Call me heartless. Call me cold. Call me whatever you want. I don't give homeless people nothing when they're begging for cash on the side of the road. I don't care if they got a sign that says I'm hungry. I don't care if they got a sign that says I love this, I love that, my wife's ugly, my kids are, I don't care. I am not giving them a plug nickel. I ain't giving them a damn thing. I'll give them a hard time. I'll give them some advice. Get a job. I've offered to buy 25 homeless people begging for cash as cell phones. They never want to sell that cell phone they've got. They never want to sell that Apple Watch they're wearing while they're holding a sign that says, anything will help. Have a nice day. Give me $1. They all got nice smiles. They all have nice teeth, don't they? Some of the homeless people I've seen here in Arkansas are the fattest people you'd ever meet. How does that compute? America's the only country in the world that I've been to, and I've been to a few, where the people begging have a nicer phone than I do. They got nicer shoes. They got nice chairs. But yet they'll put it all on a piece of cardboard they get out of a dumpster to beg for it. Think about it. Think about it. Next time you roll by somebody that's got a sign says, anything will help, roll down your window and ask them, will you sell me that cell phone in your pocket? Will you sell me that Apple Watch? Will you sell me your backpack? They always got a backpack. I'll bet you $20 they won't sell you a damn thing because they don't want to sell anything. They want you to feel guilty and give it to them.